You've been putting in the hours, grinding at the gym, but that layer of fat just won't quit. Sound familiar? It's time to flip the switch. This isn't another bro science plan. This is real science. Backed fat loss built to strip fat, carve definition, and unleash the lean, athletic physique that's been hiding underneath. From dialing in your macros to training like an athlete, we're breaking down the exact strategy that turns bulk into power. No fluff, no gimmicks, just raw results. Get ready to conquer the cut and dominate your transformation starting today. The real reason you're not lean yet: break down metabolic adaptation and why just eating less stops working. Explain how athletes balance calorie deficits without losing muscle. You've been hitting the gym hard. You're eating clean, pushing weight, maybe even throwing in some cardio. But when you look in the mirror, that stubborn layer of fat just doesn't want to leave. Sound familiar? Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your body isn't broken. Your effort isn't the problem. Your strategy is. See, the human body is designed to protect itself from what it perceives as threat. When you slash calories too hard or overtrain, your metabolism doesn't thank you. It fights back. It slows down, clings to fat, and burns through muscle tissue instead. That's why so many guys end up feeling smaller, weaker, and softer instead of leaner. The fix isn't to starve more or sweat longer. It's to work smarter. Your goal is to create a controlled, strategic calorie deficit that signals fat loss without triggering that emergency mode. Think of it like dialing in a safe code. Too far left or right and it locks you out, but when you hit that sweet spot, it opens. That's exactly how your metabolism works. You need just enough of a deficit to burn fat, but enough fuel to keep muscle. And here's where most people fail. They treat fat loss like a sprint, not a process. You've got to play the long game. Cycle your nutrition, train with intensity, and understand that your metabolism adapts. That's a good thing. It means your body's responding. The trick is adjusting intelligently, slightly tweaking calories, rotating carbs, adding in refeed days, to keep your metabolism guessing while your strength stays steady. You also can't forget the other side of the equation: muscle retention. Every rep, every set, every recovery meal you take is sending a message. Either build and maintain or shrink and store. When your training stays heavy and your protein intake stays on point, your body learns to burn fat for energy and preserve muscle for performance. That's when you start to see that dense, athletic look replacing the bulk. So stop punishing your body and start teaching it. Respect the science, respect the process, and you'll earn the transformation. The fat doesn't just fall off. You outsmart it rep by rep, meal by meal. The science of smart fat loss show how strength training plus high intensity conditioning triggers maximum fat oxidation. Reference evidence-based methods, not trends. Now that you understand why your metabolism fights back, let's talk about what actually drives fat loss, the science behind it. Most people think fat loss is just about burning more calories than you eat. But that's oversimplified. The truth is, your body doesn't burn fat because you told it to. It burns fat because you gave it a reason to. And that reason starts with the kind of training you do and the kind of stress you put on your muscles. See, when you train like an athlete, using compound lifts, explosive movements, and controlled intensity, you're not just burning calories during the workout. You're creating a metabolic demand that forces your body to keep burning long after you've left the gym. That's called the afterburn effect, and it's one of the most powerful fat loss tools you can use. Lifting heavy with intent, mixing strength and conditioning, and pushing your heart rate into those athletic zones, that's what flips the switch from burning calories now to burning fat later. And here's the part most people miss. Cardio alone won't get you there. Sure, it burns calories in the moment, but it doesn't build the engine that keeps your metabolism revving. Muscle is that engine. Every pound of muscle you carry is like a built-in furnace. It demands energy around the clock. So when you train for performance instead of just exhaustion, you build more of those furnaces. That's why strength work paired with high intensity intervals is the gold standard for fat loss that lasts. Now let's connect that to nutrition. Your training is the spark, your nutrition is the fuel. If you're not giving your body the right mix of protein, carbs, and fats, you're sabotaging your own results. Carbs aren't the enemy, misuse is. When you time them around your workouts, they drive performance and recovery. When you cut them recklessly, you cut into your strength and muscle, and that means less fat burn over time. Fat loss isn't just about pushing harder, it's about pushing smarter. Blend resistance, intensity, and smart nutrition, and you don't just lose fat, you transform how your body performs. Nutrition Blueprint for the Lean Physique, how to calculate macros, cycle carbs, and use protein timing for recovery and fat burn. Fuel like an athlete, not like a dieter. Now, we've talked about how your body burns fat and why training like an athlete changes the game. But here's where most transformations are made or destroyed. The nutrition side. You can have the best workout plan in the world, but if your diet isn't aligned with your goal, your results will stall before they even start. The truth is, getting lean isn't about eating less, it's about eating right. You've got to learn how to fuel your body like an athlete, not starve it like a dieter. Let's break that down. Your body needs a steady flow of nutrients to perform, recover, and rebuild muscle tissue. That means protein takes the lead. Eve, Ryle should center around it dedicated royal. Protein is what keeps you full, keeps your metabolism firing, and protects the lean muscle you've worked so hard to build. Without enough of it, your body starts breaking down muscle for energy instead of fat. That's the last thing you want. Next comes carbs, the most misunderstood nutrient in fitness. Everyone wants to demonize them, but the truth is, carbs are your performance fuel. The key isn't cutting them, it's controlling them. You time them around your training, more on your training days, less on your rest days. That's how you stay energized, train harder, and still stay in a fat, burning zone. It's not magic, it's metabolism. Then there's fat, another misunderstood player. Healthy fats don't make you fat. They make your hormones function properly, and that's critical for fat loss. When your hormones are balanced, your body knows when to burn fat and when to preserve muscle. That's why cutting fat completely is a huge mistake. It slows down everything. The real secret is balance and structure. You're not winging your meals or guessing macros, you're building a system that supports your goal. Think of your nutrition plan like a training program. You wouldn't skip leg day, right? So don't skip the meals that fuel recovery and performance. Every bite should have a purpose: build, repair, energize, or recover. That's how athletes eat. Fat loss doesn't come from restriction. It comes from precision. When you eat with intent, you stop chasing results and start commanding them. Training like an athlete, not a bodybuilder. Functional movements that sculpt lean muscle while torching fat. Dynamic compound lifts, explosive hit, and active recovery. So now that your nutrition is dialed in, it's time to talk about how you train, because this is where the real separation happens. Anyone can lift weights, but not everyone trains like an athlete, and that difference changes everything. Training like an athlete isn't about chasing the pump or spending hours on machines. It's about building a body that performs, one that's strong, fast, explosive, and lean. You're not just sculpting muscle, you're sculpting function. When most people think fat loss, they jump straight to endless cardio or lightweight circuits. That's a mistake. Sure, you might sweat, but sweating isn't the goal, stimulus is. You've got to challenge your body in a way that forces it to adapt. That means moving with intent, lifting with purpose, and treating every set like it counts. Compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, presses, pulls, they're your foundation. They recruit more muscle fibers, boost testosterone, and torch calories long after your workout ends. Then comes the athletic element, power and speed. Incorporate movements that make you move sprints, jumps, sled pushes, battle ropes. These aren't gimmicks. They're tools that condition your body to handle real, world performance while elevating your fat burn to another level. When you blend strength and explosiveness, your workouts stop being weight training and start becoming performance training. But here's the part most people skip: recovery and mobility. You can't perform like an athlete if you move like a robot. Your muscles need to recover, your joints need to stay mobile, and your nervous system needs time to adapt. This is where active recovery, dynamic stretching, and mobility drills come in. They're not optional, they're what keep you in the game long enough to win. When you train like this, your physique starts to change without you even realizing it. Your shoulders get sharper, your core tighter, your frame more athletic. You start to look like someone who can move because you can. That's real transformation. You're not just burning fat, you're building a body that performs under pressure. A body that's powerful, functional, and lean. Mindset, the shift from bulky to athletic, discipline over motivation, mastering consistency and patience. The no shortcuts a mentality that defines elite physiques. At this stage, we've covered the science, the training, and the nutrition, but none of it matters if your mindset isn't locked in. Because here's the truth, getting lean isn't just a physical battle, it's a mental one. The difference between people who start strong and people who finish strong always comes down to mindset. You can't just want results. You've got to be willing to earn them day after day, even when motivation disappears. Most people quit not because the plan doesn't work, but because they expect it to feel easy. They want instant gratification. But your body doesn't care about quick fixes. It only responds to consistency. That's the hard truth. The process will test you. You'll have days when the mirror doesn't show progress, when the scale doesn't move, when you question if it's even working. And that's exactly when most people walk away. But if you can hold the line through those moments, if you stay disciplined when it's inconvenient, that's when transformation actually happens. The key is shifting from a motivation mindset to a commitment mindset. Motivation is temporary, it's an emotion. Commitment is a decision. When you rely on motivation, you'll show up only when it feels good. When you're committed, you show up because you said you would. That's the difference between a body that changes and a body that stays the same. You've also got to stop comparing your journey to anyone else's. Your pace, your progress, your body, they're all unique. What matters is that you're better than you were last week. That's progress. That's growth. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about becoming stronger, more capable, and more consistent than you were yesterday. And remember, the mindset you build here goes far beyond the gym. The discipline to train, eat, and recover the right way. Those are the same habits that spill into every other part of your life. You become sharper, more focused, and more confident because you're proving to yourself every single day that you can follow through. The truth is, the body follows the mind. When your mindset is locked in, your results become inevitable. The final formula: performance aesthetics, why chasing performance creates sustainable leanness. End with a motivational call: train smart, eat clean, conquer the cut. By now, you've got the full picture. Training, nutrition, and mindset all working together. But there's one more shift that separates the truly elite from everyone else, focusing on performance over aesthetics. See, when most people chase a lean body, they think only about how they look in the mirror. But the mirror doesn't measure power, speed, endurance, or strength. And those are the things that actually build the body you're trying to create. When you train to perform better, the aesthetics come as a byproduct. When you only train to look better, progress eventually stops. Think about it. When your goal is just to get abs, Once you get them, what's next? You hit the finish line and lose the drive. But when your goal is to move better, lift more, and feel stronger, there is no finish line. Every session becomes a chance to improve. That's the difference between short-term transformation and lifelong fitness. When you start measuring your success by performance like how fast you recover, how clean your form looks, or how much power you generate, your entire mindset changes. You stop chasing the scale and start chasing standards. You start fueling your body instead of starving it. You start pushing your limits because you want to, not because you have to. That's where true athleticism lies. And ironically, the more you focus on performance, the more your physique transforms. Your muscles get harder, your movements sharper, your posture stronger. You develop that dense athletic look, the kind that doesn't just appear fit, but proves it. Every cut, every vein, every line on your body becomes the reflection of how you move, not just how you lift. This is what lean really means. It's not just about being lighter, it's about being capable. It's about having a body that can handle anything you throw at it, whether that's a heavy lift, a sprint, or life itself. When you shift your focus from how you look to how you perform, everything else falls into place naturally. Stop chasing appearance and start chasing ability, because that's where lasting results are built. You've got the blueprint now, the training, the nutrition, the mindset, and the performance edge. This isn't about quick fixes or crash diets. It's about transforming the way you move, eat, and think. From bulky to lean isn't just a physical change. It's a complete recalibration of who you are and how you operate. You're not chasing a look anymore. You're building a body that performs, endures, and dominates. So take what you've learned and put it into action. Because the science is proven, and the only thing left to do now is earn your transformation.